The roof of my residence collapsed, and I ended up pinned underneath the roof and a mattress. I thought, this is survival. This is what survival is called.
That's the voice of Sue Martin, a resident of Fort Myers Beach who came face to face with Hurricane Ian. What does it mean to survive a monster storm? The kind that gets a name, the kind that splits your life into two distinct parts, the life before and the life after.
We're going to tell you the stories of people who stared down two of the most powerful storms in recent memory and how they made it out alive.
In a hurricane zone, warnings can eventually become background noise. You board the windows, grab batteries, and think, I've seen this all before. In 2022, longtime resident Sue Martin prepared for Hurricane Ian in Fort Myers Beach just like any other year.
2 years later, Dorothy Brooks did the same for Hurricane Helene. Both storms were catastrophic Category 4 monsters.
Ian actually peaked as a Category 5 in the Gulf, packing 160-mile-per-hour winds, the kind of force that shears the face off a building. For those on the ground, the numbers didn't matter. They weren't just facing weather, they were facing a monster.
The wind is terrifying, but it's the water that catches you first.
During Ian, Cecilia Donald watched the ocean rush into her home with such speed, she and her husband discussed tying themselves together so their bodies wouldn't be separated if they drowned. That is the reality of storm surge, a relentless wall of water that turns living rooms into death traps.
For Dorothy Brooks, Helene sent 3 feet of water into her house, pinning the doors shut. She had to scramble out of a window, clinging to the side of her home as the flood raged.
For Sue Martin, the sound of the wind transitioned from a whistle to a bone-shaking roar. Then came the sound everyone dreads, the structure giving way. Her roof splintered and collapsed, burying her under a mattress and heavy debris. Pinned and injured, she could only wait in the dark.
Survival often boils down to a single moment, or a neighbor's hand.
Dorothy was saved when a neighbor spotted her and called the Coast Guard. Sue's rescue came after the surge receded, when a neighbor she now calls her Angel found her in the wreckage. That neighbor turned a pickup truck into a makeshift ambulance, starting Sue on a 107-day journey to recovery.
These stories aren't unique. From the Cajun Navy during Harvey to neighbors pulling neighbors from rooftops during Katrina, the community always fills the gap when official responses are overwhelmed.
The silence after a hurricane is as unsettling as the noise. You're left with a world completely rearranged.
Surviving a monster storm is about more than enduring wind. It's about the mental health battle that follows, the PTSD, and the long road to rebuilding a life from nothing.
The lesson is simple. Preparation is critical, and evacuation is vital. But when those fail, survival hinges on resilience, and most of all, each other. A house can be rebuilt. A life cannot.
Be ready. Know your evacuation routes and have a plan today. If you want to help, consider donating to the Red Cross or local relief funds to support those currently in the long process of rebuilding.